All right. So, pretty much after watching the LuLaRae documentary, I feel like I'm an expert on MLM, multi-level marketing schemes, and AKA pyramid schemes. So, I'm just going to tell you guys what to look out for when you're applying for jobs because I'm noticing a lot of marketing agencies that reach out to me have a lot of MLM vibes that you just should not or you should try to avoid. So I kind of spoke about this in a previous video, but I kind of just want to go more into depth because my sister told me it's a good video to make. So basically, if you don't know what a multi-level marketing scheme is, or multi-level marketing company in general is, it is a type of marketing agency that pretty much requires people to market at different levels, but the levels are like, I don't know how to explain it. Basically, just think of it that there's multi-levels marketing. At the very bottom of the pyramid, though, are people like direct to consumer. And then as you go up, it's less about direct to consumer and about having people working under you, so that the person at the top really isn't doing any type of marketing for a product or service. They're pretty much just marketing the team that they have and building a team of people under them. So the reason this is usually like a pyramid scheme is because obviously if only the bottom level is directly marketing to a consumer, a product or good or service, that means that it requires them they have to get a lot of people in order to actually sell that good product or service, but there's a limit to how many people you can market a product or sell that product to. So with that type of scheme, it usually is people working under a team who's working under a team who's working under a team who's working under like a director, and they'll have like different titles, but at the end of the day, the only people actually selling a good or service are the people at the bottom, and the people at the bottom usually make the least, and so on and so forth, and also have to do the most work, if that makes sense. So I would get like a lot of interviews with a lot of these random looking marketing agencies, and I would like look on their website, and I just started noticing they all had like very similar language, all said very similar things, and they were also very, very, very vague. So look out for a company that doesn't have any type of reviews, has very vague listed like what they do and who their clients are. That's something that you have to look out for, especially if you're applying for jobs on like ZipRecruiter. I feel like a majority of them were ZipRecruiter because I feel like they just have the least amount of, Indeed too. Anyone can post a job on those if they put money into it. But a lot of the websites, I will read them over, and they were just very vague descriptions of like what the company did and who they were, and a lot of it said they were like nonprofit or charity works. So anytime you have a company that says they work with nonprofit or charities, that's somewhat a red flag if the company itself is not a nonprofit or charity. So let me say that again. A company that works with nonprofits and charities versus a company that is a nonprofit or charity. So a lot of these websites are like, oh, we work with charity companies, top Fortune 500, and they're trying to make it seem like, oh, we're doing good in the community. But this is where I started to catch on a little bit. So I was doing an interview for one of them, and I had like my list of questions. First and foremost, the girl could not answer a lot of my questions. Like, she like paused and was like, she couldn't answer some of the questions I asked her about, like the day-to-day work and who am I working under and what does my actual work day look like. So basically, anytime someone's telling you they want you to market to people, direct marketing, run. Direct marketing is almost always a MLM scheme. Unless it's a business that you are personally attached to and know like a lot of information about, do not ever do a direct marketing or sales type of position. Which essentially is they always try to market themselves as marketing agencies, but really they're trying to sell a service to people that is just not a good service. And so I asked like enough questions about the company that I was able to like actually understand, like, okay, this is a MLM scheme. And so the first clue is when they tell you everyone has to start at the bottom. That's the first clue, because no Fortune 500 company is going to say someone with 10 plus years of experience in this field has to start at the bottom if they have the experience to be a director, a manager, like any of those types of positions. Like, sorry, there's something in my mouth. I didn't get it. Ugh. Anyways, that's just not how like real companies work, where everyone has to start in at the bottom regardless of their experience level. Anyone who tells you that, run. That's a pyramid scheme, because a pyramid scheme requires you to start at the bottom and try to work yourself, quote unquote. All right, I actually got it that time. Quote unquote, work yourself up to the top. And the way to work yourself up to the top is probably like requires you to do like just either something that is not necessarily impossible to do, but everyone can't do it, right? Like, everyone can't do what's necessary to reach the next level, and they're going to try to sell you, oh, anyone can do it, everyone can do it if you just try hard enough. But essentially, there's not a market of you can constantly have people buying a product or service, especially if the product or service is BS. So let me just say this. The product or service they wanted me to sell was an opportunity for someone to donate. Y'all, I'm not going to sit here and try to give people an opportunity to donate to an organization, and through direct marketing, right? So direct marketing is basically like when you face-to-face marketing, essentially face-to-face marketing, not online, not a digital ads, not indirect like flyers. It's having a conversation with someone in person or on the phone, directly telling them about a product or service. And so essentially their work with nonprofits was they didn't charge the companies to do their donations or fundraising for them. They simply promised that they would do this amount of fundraising, and then they're going to take a percentage of whatever fundraising they get. That's what I'm assuming how their company is set up. But the pay rate and the expectations to me just didn't line up. They didn't add up. The math was not mathing. So pretty much they want you to stand around for hours, and they want you every day to get at least, I think there was like 2 people to sign up to donate or fundraise, like a monthly donation. And I cannot remember what the donations, how much it was. It must have been like $1 a day or something like that, because essentially they're like, oh, you're gonna make $700 a day if you get just 2 people to sign up to donate to whatever fundraiser it was. So listen to this. You stand on the outside of the street. You're not directly, it's like indirect direct marketing. That's what it's like, door to door, pretty much door to door, but you're in a public space and you're trying to get a random person on the street to donate to a fundraiser. And they're like, well, you do this every day. We expect you to work 6 to 7 days a week, and you're going to be able to make this company this amount of money. But it was like $400,000 or something like that if you got 2 people to sign up every day and you work 6 days a week, was how much you were making individually fundraising for this company. But the percentage you actually got back from that, they were like paying people like, I think $10 an hour or something, because they're like, you're gonna make like $400 a week or something like that doing this. And let me tell you guys, $400 a week is like 1% of how much you're actually raising for whatever the fundraising. So that's not a valuable percentage of the work you're actually doing. But the other thing that kind of was a red flag for me, so I talked about how she said that everyone has to start at the bottom. She talked about the work was a direct sales, which I already knew I don't want to do that. I've worked as a student fundraiser before at a call center. It's not even marketing, because you are at least, I was calling like alumni for schools they went to see if they wanted to donate. That's not like cold calling. You're calling people. The school hired my company to do the fundraising, so they were paying them to get the fundraising. So that's not even close to the same thing that they wanted me to do. They wanted me to stand in a random street, and they called it events. And I asked her, like, what are these events? She's like, oh, like, a public area with a little table. I was like, okay, so that's not an event. That's just I don't even know what to call that, the term for that. But it just really was not like an event, because I think the actual position I called for was like events coordinator, marketing coordinator, or something like that. And she had me list down like the positions in the order that you worked up to them. Anytime that a company's like, you have to go to A, to B, to C, to D to get there, multi-level marketing, because the fact that everyone has to go through the exact same levels to get there, it's a pyramid scheme. A pyramid means there's only way up to the top, and you have to get to each step, each level. That's why it's a multi-level marketing scheme, in order to get to the next place. Like, you can't jump spaces. And that's like red flag number. It was so many red flags, y'all. Okay. So she was listing these positions, and then she literally thought she was selling something. I'm like, I'm not an idiot. I had literally just watched the LuLaRoe documentary on Amazon 2 at this point. So my sense and knowledge of MLMs was at the height. But I just knew from what she talked about what we would have to do. I'm like, this is not the type of job. This is not a job that I would want. And this is not a job that has any type of security, any type of like real knowledge, because it's literally cold sales. You are literally trying to get random people to donate with the goal of 2 people out of the 100 people that would come up to you, and they want you to have like a booth set up. And it was just like, it was not a good marketing agency. So she was talking about how eventually what happens is you can own your own marketing agency. This is the pyramid talking. The highest level you can get to is having your own agency and then having people working under you who are directing and making you that money again. So you have to have people under you in order to make money, in order to actually make all of the money that you're trying to promise to these charities. So that's also the reason I feel like there's so many these random looking marketing agencies, and every time I visit their websites, it's always like random similar language talking about charities. I'm like, okay, this is all people who were probably at one point part of the same marketing scheme who now have started their own marketing quote unquote agency, LLC. That's exactly what she said. You're going to have your own LLC. And I was like, okay, so it's like not a scam, but it's literally a pyramid scheme and a mid-level marketing scheme. So any marketing agency that expects you to do direct sales and is not paying you a salary, first of all, no reputable company marketing agency is working for free. If you are knowledgeable about marketing and marketing strategies, companies are going to pay you to do their marketing for them. So this was not even a marketing agency. It's a sales agency selling people the opportunity to donate to a fundraiser that they are taking probably like 20% of the funding, keeping it in their pockets, and then paying people at the bottom like a very low amount of the percentage of what they actually were selling. So it just wasn't a good role to me. And yeah, that's how. And then they tried to like y'all, they're like, oh, well, we really like talking to you. We'd like to do a third interview. I was like, girl, bye. I didn't say that. I was just like, yeah, this is not it. I'm not one that you can get over on. I'm not about to get caught up in none of this. And the same thing can be said. So this MLM, I was selling, it wasn't even a product. Like, you're selling people the opportunity to donate. Like, if someone really wanted to donate, they would donate. I guess sometimes having someone standing there would make you more willing to, but it was just like, you're selling people an opportunity to donate. That's not a real product or service I can get behind. I love nonprofits and charities, but this is not actual. I would rather work for an actual nonprofit or charity than fundraise for a nonprofit or charity, because there's better ways to do that. Like, I thought I was going to be putting on like actual events, community events, I thought I was about to be able to actually create something. So I got my hopes up and they was let down, but I avoided a MLM. And yeah, that's pretty much my story time on it, y'all. Sorry, I gotta stretch my hand. That's the story on that, and tips on how you can avoid getting caught up in pyramid schemes or MLMs. Half of these companies that are trying to get you to sell a product for them, oh, you just need to believe in it and you'll get it. It's a marketing scheme. It's a pyramid scheme. Don't do it, y'all. Don't do it. The only people who benefit from those are the people who get in right at the beginning. So unless it's a brand new one that no one's ever heard of, you ain't finna make a lot of money, and you don't want to get caught up in it anyways, because any product worth selling is going to hire a professional marketing agency to sell it, not mom and pops who have no type of sales experience, where they have to constantly find clients, create clients, like building. That's just not how companies, a reputable company builds their clientele. Not through that type of marketing. Direct marketing is not the best type of marketing. It's a type of marketing that is available, but not when it's set up at multi-level as an MLM. So don't do it, y'all. that's my tricks, and thanks for watching. Peace out, Girl Scout.